Hey guys, welcome to Hashtag Behind Relationship Goals. I'm Bones.
And I'm Fofo. Welcome back to the podcast. It has been really good so far, hasn't it?
It has been. And we actually have a special guest, Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
Not only that, so Tanjiro is here, but this podcast is also sponsored.
Yay! Sound effects. Let's go.
The sponsor for this podcast is Holly's.
Woo! Holly's, because right here we have the whole milk and we have the chocolate milk, which is actually a personal favorite.
Actually, I shall correct you. This is the chocolate low-fat milk. So Holly's, it's a local Philippine brand of dairy products.
Yes.
We're just really, really happy that they're on board because a lot of the products and brands and sponsors that have come on board, and so far I think 2 or 3 of them have come on board, are brands that we really use and that we actually really reached out to collaborate with us on this podcast.
One thing that we really wanted to do with the podcast and with our sponsors of the podcast was that we wanted to promote local products and yung proudly Pinoy na products natin.
With the situation that we have at hand here in the Philippines and all over the world, Bonizi and I feel like this podcast has been a growing asset for us.
Yes.
And with that, we felt like it was a place where we could actually help a lot of local brands, but at the same time, a place where a lot of local brands could help us as well.
Yeah.
They could help us grow the podcast. So we wanted to create this atmosphere of tulungan.
Yes, tulungan sa atin lahat, hindi lang on one end, but from both parties.
Holly's is helping Behind Relationship Goals grow, and hopefully we're also getting the word out there that Holly's and all their products are absolutely amazing and they're out there for all the Filipinos to try out and experience.
Well, my first experience with Holly's was I ordered them through a neighbor and I just continuously ordered from them every week. They came in like this little cute bag that was insulated, and I love that I could mix it with my coffee and it just tasted so good with the coffee that we made.
My first encounter with Holly's was actually for coffee. There was a specialty cafe maybe a couple of years ago, and they were using Holly's milk for their coffee. And I absolutely loved it. And ever since, I was always aware, oh my God, if I want good milk, then I just
local,
go to
yeah.
Holly's.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing and eye-opening for me to know that there were actually local milk producers at that time. I didn't know na meron. I thought lahat ng milk imported.
Yeah.
And the quality was just absolutely amazing, and it goes very, very well with coffee.
If you guys want to order Holly's Milk, you can go to their website. That's hollysmilk.com, or you can message them on Facebook or Instagram, Holly's Milk PH.
So we'll get back to that a bit later on, but we're going to be sipping on my chocolate low-fat milk, and Bonizi has her... Well, I don't know how she's going to sip on that.
It's like a carton. So ganyan siya, pero glass.
She just used that because she thinks it looks cool. Okay, fine, she drank from it. But anyway, we are moving on to the theme and the topic for this podcast episode. What is it, Bonizi?
LIGAWAN 101. Oh, that rhymed! LIGAWAN 101 with Bones and Fofo. Uy, patikim. Before we go on, tikim muna. Uy, ang sarap. All right, so we see in the comments that there are a lot of people that watch the podcast or listen to the podcast that are single, who aren't in relationships, but you guys keep saying na, oh, I'm learning so much, or I'll keep this in mind when I have my future relationship. We hear ya. We hear you loud and clear, and we're here to talk about the part before you get into a relationship, which is the ligawan portion.
Or the courtship portion. I felt so excited when I heard that we were going to discuss this topic because it's such a rich topic. I mean, for a lot of people, and I guess a lot of the viewers, maybe a lot of your lives have been spent in the ligawan stage, diba? I don't think that there are a lot of 10-year relationships listening. I would assume, I'm just assuming that a lot of the viewers are very young relationships.
Yeah, marami din kasi when we saw the stats of our viewers, yung age group nila, marami sa kanila yung mga college students, teenagers, young adults in their 20s. If you're out there and you don't have a partner yet, this episode is for you.
So how are we going to start this episode, Bones?
What was your idea of courtship when you were younger?
Oh, well, like before I started courtship?
Before.
Movies, definitely. Chocolates and flowers.
Yeah.
That was, I think, my idea. Like when you told me that the first thing that came to mind was chocolates and flowers because that's what you would see in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Diba? If like, let's say Bugs Bunny, like someone, he has like a box of chocolates in the shape of a heart and some flowers. I think back then palang, just watching TV and reading stories, your notion and your idea of what courtship is was already being formed. And I just realized now that apparently that was it. That was what I thought ligawan was at that point, giving a box of chocolates and nice flowers.
I thought also that dating or ligaw, courtship, was going to the movies. If you didn't go to the movies, then maybe you weren't serious about each other. And that's what I thought about. That's what I thought in high school. So I was in first year or second year high school, and I was like, well, if you're not taking me to the movies, then I guess you're not serious about me. That's exactly what I thought back then.
I guess for the guys and for the girls, this episode is going to be very interesting because we're really going to be sharing two sides of the coin. So I'm going to be sharing all the ligawan moves that I made. Bonizi will react to that. And I wonder how you feel 10 years from now.
Let's see if it's have or wale.
Diba? If it's something you like or you don't like.
Are Fofo's moves good or not?
And at the same time, like, what were you expecting from your suitors, diba?
Okay.
I'm sure you, as a girl, you know, you would daydream maybe, or at least imagine what kind of suitor should I have. I want to comment on that as well.
Let's go back to the first time that you courted somebody. When was that? And how did you even get to that point where you decided, I want to court this girl?
I don't even know if I got to that point. I think it was all wishful thinking kasi sobrang torpe nga ako. Jumping from my first notion of ligawan, chocolates and flowers and gifts, basically.
Okay.
So just sweet gifts that are, I guess, romantic. I thought they were romantic at that time. So giving that to a girl was my idea. But ito nga, nung bata ako, wala naman akong pere.
Yeah,
I had no money to give them anything. So the next thing is I did have money to go to the movies. At that time, movies were 80 pesos.
Yeah, I remember 75 pesos.
60 to 80
No, they were like
pesos.
80 pesos if they were Harry Potter. But if
And-
they weren't, they were like 70.
Yeah, so I could save up for that. My allowance was enough for me to save up for that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and in high school, yung naging MO ko or mode of operation was I would tag along with a group and sana group movie date. And then talagang pipilitin ko lang talaga
that
na
you sit
I
beside.
sit beside that person. Pero eto, guys and girls, it never happened. I think I went out on a group movie date twice.
Okay.
But the two times that it happened, I wasn't able to sit beside the girl who I liked.
So where were you sitting? Were you sitting behind her, just watching the back of her head?
I think I was sitting beside the boys. Hindi, kasi, okay. This was the setup. So let's say, I don't remember the exact number, but let's say 3 boys and 3 girls kami, or 4 boys and 4 girls. Yung nangyari dun was 4 boys together and then the 4 girls. So yung nangyayari is dalawa lang yung magkatabi.
Oh no.
So it was just such a small
Madaya.
chance. And then, syempre ako, ayoko mabuking.
Yeah.
Ayoko mahalata.
Wait, so did your friends not know also that you like someone in the girls group?
I wasn't very open with my feelings at that time.
They would tease
Sobrang
you.
mapang-asar ako. Kung sinabi ko yun sa kanila, ako naman yung aasarin nila.
And you wouldn't want that to happen.
And baka i-booking pa ako sa harap ng
Yeah.
babae. So
Knowing your friends, they probably would.
Yeah, definitely. It was a no. It just was not a good idea to do that. Wishful thinking lang yung ano ko. Yun yung asset ko at that time and it didn't work out for me. How about you? What did you think of that? And how did you think about courtship before or ligawan?
So like I said earlier, movies were really kind of like a deal breaker there. One guy asked me to go to the movies with him in high school and it was just the both of us. So I was so nervous because
What year were you? Oh
I was
my
like
God.
second year?
Solo date second year?
Second year.
Oh my gosh.
No, because like super small town. Probably my friends were there, but they were like in different seats. And then they knew that this guy asked me out on a movie date. And we sat beside each other, but we weren't like talking or anything. So I didn't really know much about him. But then for some reason, at the back of my head, I was just waiting. I put my hand on the handrest of the chair. I was kind of like waiting for him to like inch closer to
Wait,
touch
so
my
this was
hand.
your first date and yun na yung naisip mo?
I don't remember if it was my first date, but
So
it was because
first date, second year high school, and then gusto mo nang may holding hands?
Yeah.
Grabe.
Holding.
Aggressive si Bones. American ka nga.
Holding hands lang naman. Grabe naman.
Dude, I never even thought about
No,
holding
you know
a
why?
girl's hand before.
You know why? I wanted to know, like, does he like me? Because you would see in the movies na if the guy held your hand, then that meant that he really liked you.
Wait,
so I was trying to like test out, I wonder if he really likes me. So I would put it out there like this. Like, kunwari, this is the chair. And
Yeah.
then I would just go like this and then take it out and then put it back. And then, you know, he would put his hand and it would be close, but he wouldn't hold my hand. So I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't really like me.
Bones, oh my God, you're so aggressive. Okay, just to let you know, if I were the guy in that situation, I would not hold your hand. I would not even think of holding your hand at all. As in, I would be like, oh my God, sobrang aggressive ko kung tinawakan ko yung kamay ni Bones.
No. I was like, for me, aggressive would be grabbing your hand. But I was testing the waters and I was trying to like see if he would make a move. So I went out 50% to see if he would go the other 50%.
This just goes to show how incompatible Bonizi and I were 5 years before we met. 15 years ago, Bonizi and I were insanely incompatible because everything that she wanted in a guy, I was not going to give. So I just wonder,
Was I too aggressive for you?
you were too aggressive for me. Ang taas ng expectations mo. No, I'm just curious among the guy listeners here and the female listeners. I mean, where do you guys stand? I wonder kung mas maraming kagaya ko na, hindi, wala pa tayong holding hands. Like, kailangan madaming date muna bago magka-holding hands. Especially at second year high school or when, as a high schooler.
You know, now that I think about it, when we were going on our group hangouts, it took you so long to hold my hand.
Yeah.
It took you so long.
So
like,
long. Don't
like,
you remember? Okay, matanda na ako nun Graduate na ako
like
nun.
you were like 22, I think, or 23?
Diba? How long did it take? I'm pretty sure the first 3 dates, I did not hold your hand.
I remember distinctly when you held my hand. It was after like a night out with friends. We were in like Ponte, I think.
Okay.
And then you were gonna take me home because I didn't have like a car or anything, and our other friends
my
had
God, I
cars.
remember
Remember? We had pictures pa of this night, and you held my hand in Ponte, like here lang. And I was like, oh my God, electricity. He held my hand. What's up? And then I was like, Besh, si Adrian. Besh, hinawakan ni Mikael yung kamay ko, lol.
Oh my God, I remember. I even remember your look and your face and your makeup.
So we were going home na, and we were crossing the street, and you took my hand, and I was like, sparks are flying right now. I'm kilig right now.
Asa? I'm kilig.
So that was
kilig.
the first time that Mikael ever held my hand, and we were crossing the street to get to his car. You had the black car pa, I remember. And I was like, wow, that felt so nice. He held my hand to cross the road.
Oh my gosh. Bonizi! I haven't recalled that memory in
Years.
ages.
Yeah.
Like more than 5 years.
Kinikilig yung puso mo.
Crazy. Naiiyak si Bones.
Oo, sa kilig.
I think we really represent different groups of girls and guys. Diba? Na ako yung super torpe, super take it slow. Even when I was older, apparently I was very take
Yeah.
it slow. And you were very aggressive at that time. Pero buti na lang hindi ka umaawat. Diba? Kasi I was slow when we
What do you mean
met.
umaawat?
Parang umaayaw.
Okay. No. I
Diba?
really enjoyed your company. So for me, it was like waiting for the right moment. And if you remember, like the first time that I felt like I wanted to kiss you, I held back because I was like, this doesn't feel right for me to do.
That was like the 3rd date.
It's okay. I mean, girls, if you want to make a move, I think that's fine.
No, but here, there's interesting. I have an observation about you, Bones. The cool thing is that my expectations kay, like on the first date, parang okay ka lang na holding hands agad. And a bit sooner, okay lang na my first kiss.
Yeah.
Pero when you don't get it, hindi ka nada-down.
Yeah,
Kasi
I don't feel
can
down.
imagine, I know some other people na baka mas maging sensitive.
Yeah,
And then they're like, no, ayoko na dito. And dude, if you did that to me, sobrang hassle para sa akin. Like, what would I think? I would think, no, what in the world did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Yun pala, gusto mo pala mas aggressive ako.
Yeah.
So, hindi ko maiintindihan yun. So, buti na lang may pasensya si Madam Bones. If not, well, the Bones and Fofo relationship would not have happened. And there would be no Behind Relationship Goals podcast. Oh my God.
Thank goodness for my patience, right?
Darn, wow. I knew this is going to be a rich topic. I knew it. I knew it. So that was our first experience together with courtship. So what other aspects do you have during the first time of courtship? Like, what did you like or what did you expect when you were younger?
Honestly, I didn't have manliligaw. Two lang siguro. But I guess what were my expectations? It was really from the movies. I didn't know if it was right or not, but if I saw it in the media, then maybe that was how you were supposed to do it.
When you were younger, let's say after you graduated high school, ano yung style ng lalaki ang patok sa'yo? What would have worked now that you have hindsight?
I like guys that were nice. And at first, I like quiet guys. But then I realized na like not a lot of conversation was happening. And I just be like, meh. So I realized, yeah, he's a nice guy, but we don't connect. And I didn't feel that connection. Even if we held hands, there wasn't that spark. And I realized na maybe I should like surround myself with different kinds of people and different people na who are outside of my group. So that's when I thought na, okay, maybe I just get out of my comfort zone and meet different people.
So anong style yung gusto mo? Meaning, would you have wanted a texter? You know how so there are some relationships na talagang text 24/7. Every hour nagte-text sila and sobrang haba ng mga messages nila. Or do you want telebabad style?
Oh,
or
okay.
do you want
Gets,
yung binibisita ka every weekend? So, ano yung style mo dun?
Okay, so let me give two examples of yung personal experience ko. There's one guy that I dated that we would go to movies, we would eat out, chit-chat, and then go home. Like, he'd take me home na. That was fun, but it got repetitive. And it got a little bit boring.
So, movie,
Dinner, and then
talk,
and then go out for like coffee, and then he'd take me home na kasi
How old were you?
18.
Okay.
And then there was another one when I was much younger. He would really give me like flowers. I think it was like 15, 16. He would really give me flowers and like gifts and try to make me laugh with all like these corny jokes. It just felt mababaw or shallow.
Okay.
Like there wasn't really any connection to this person on a deeper level. It was also repetitive because it was just the same kind of gifts, the same kind of flowers. It wasn't anything that I really liked. And I realized that I didn't like receiving gifts.
You realized that early on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was cool for like the moment, and then afterwards they would just like be in my house. Nakatambak lang dun. I'd be like, I don't like this. I don't like all these flowers. Like they're just like a waste of space. So I think when I was around 16, I realized that this is not my thing.
Jumping off what you just said, you felt like it was mababaw.
Yeah.
Sobrang magkabaliktad talaga tayo. Kasi all my thoughts or ideas of courting someone were all mababaw. It was not based on conversation. Hindi ko alam if other guys do it, pero yung parang daydream of how a date might go with a girl. Do you do that? Or do girls do that too?
Yeah.
Okay, parang daydream, ito yung crush ko and ito yung pwedeng mangyari sa date. This is how the date will go. When I was younger, when I was in college, high school, I had never thought of conversation as being a high point.
Same.
Activities lang.
Yeah, activities. Like you have to like go out and do things.
Like going to the carnival, going to the movies, mini golf. So lahat ng mga expectations.
Mini golf. Like you try to take me to mini golf before.
Yung moves ko yun.
Last trip.
Yung moves ko talaga dati were activity-based. So talaga ang dami kong iniisip na activities and every time na may bagong activity na lumalabas sa Metro Manila, parang ang saya. Kasi yun yung pwede kong gamitin and hindi ako masa-stuck with dead silence or dead air. I think that's the scariest part for a lot of people. Yung habang kumakain ka, nag-uusap kayo, biglang
and then nobody's talking.
Awkward silence. I don't know. Who's afraid of awkward silence? I'm sure I was.
I was before.
Definitely before.
Because you're like, oh, maybe they're bored with me.
Or, oh no, wala na tayong mapag-usapan. And then sobrang magpapanik ka sa loob-loob. Okay, think of something to say. Sarap ng noodles, no? Unpacking so many old memories and ideas. So definitely mini golf. I was thinking about carnival, yung road trips, going to the beach, going to the movies, eating out, and going to the markets, like parang Sunday market.
Yeah.
Definitely activity-based yung habol ko at yung naisip kong ligawan style when I was younger.
I think the only time that conversation really was like a deciding factor in Ligawan was when I got older. And it was actually when I met you that I realized na, oh yeah, conversation or talking to somebody about different things in your life and their life has a big impact on how much I like this person, because I don't think I ever liked anyone on a different level than when I talk to you.
Oh, thank you.
Kilig ka. Like I said before, it would just be about the gifts and activities or like these things that they would give to try to show that they liked you. But it was really the interest that you put into me with the conversations, the things that you would ask me or that we'd discuss about like life, and we'd try to like do heart-to-heart talks. And that was really something that I appreciated, because I realized, oh yeah, he does want to get to know me on a different kind of level and not just try to give me stuff to like him.
You know, I thought of another thing about
What?
Ligawan. So it's another part, communication. You just said it.
Yeah.
Back then, and I think even during the courtship level, there were two stages for me. The first stage was texting stage. And
Yeah.
the second stage was tawagan stage, telebabad stage.
I remember the texting stage because you used to text a lot and I hated texting
Yun, that's
so
what I was going
much.
to ask. That's what I was going to ask. Like,
I'm so lazy to text.
for me, I was like, uy, nakakakilig mag-text. A lot of people are like this. I know a lot of the viewers are like this. Parang huhusgaan mo yung bawat letra at bawat punctuation mark ng text.
Like, if they didn't-
I-analyze mo, I was like, what is she trying to say? Bakit walang period or exclamation point? Or pag walang smiley?
Yeah, you know,
Bakit walang
Mikael.
smiley?
Mikael called me out one time. He said, do you really text like that? Like there's no emotion? I'm like, what kind of emotion am I supposed to put in a text message? He's like, look at my messages to you. Like I always put a smiley when I'm happy, or I like put a big smiley face, yung colon with the capital letter D, like that kind of level. I'm just like, I am happy, but I mean, do I really need to put in every single message to show you that I'm happy? I mean, is that a factor for you if I don't put a smiley face?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a factor for me. I'm answering you right now. It was a factor. I don't know if I resonate with other guys with this, but sometimes parang syempre ine-effortan mo yung sinasabi mo through text, and then you put smileys in the right part, and then you're trying to make it malaman pero not too long, kasi minsan pag masyado mahaba yung text, ba grabe OA naman to mag-text. I would overthink texting, definitely. When I was younger, definitely. Even Megan experienced that, and apparently Megan doesn't even care.
Yeah, I was just like, do you want to give me a call so we can
So
talk?
texting never mattered to you? What if I said like, okay, here, what if we were talking and you asked me a nice question through text and I said, K?
Well, I mean, you were asking me like if I ate.
No, what if you asked me a question and your response ko was K? Would that not make you feel anything?
It would.
Oh, it would. Do you
It
see?
would.
You
Because
see?
K has that notion, if it's K dot or just letter K, then the person doesn't care. But I mean, I would answer you in full sentences, Fofo, and not even like shortcut my words, okay?
Okay.
So
I'm just
there was
saying.
effort. I just didn't put a smiley face.
I wonder if up until now that still stands, no?
There are Messenger, there are like
There's
different kind of
Messenger
messaging
and Instagram,
apps.
DM on Twitter, DM
May
on
Zoom.
Instagram. There are so many other different ways, but feeling ko lang yung kapraningan when it comes to communication is definitely still there. And before we continue with this podcast, I'd like to remind everybody that this podcast is sponsored by Hollies. Ponies, let's talk about Hollies a little bit more. How does Hollies and their products fit into your life?
Well, one, we drink a lot of coffee, and then there are moments when you want your coffee just plain, but then there are times when you feel like, oh, I need an iced latte or I need a cappuccino. This, like you said earlier, you were able to have it in a coffee shop and you brought that coffee into our home, and that's what we've been having ever since. Milk and cookies are also a staple in our household, so it's the perfect combination for that.
The reason also why after 5 years of getting to know Hollies, we're still consuming their products is because of the quality and the flavor. So I'm going to get a bit technical, but I'm
Okay.
going to be super quick. When it comes to coffee, the milk that you want to put in coffee, you want it to be very neutral.
Yes.
You want the fat content to be a certain level to really bring out the creaminess and the flavor in
Yes.
coffee. One of the best local dairy products that I've tried when it comes to mixing it with coffee is Holly's.
And that's kasi when you steam the milk, diba? It brings out sweetness in the milk, diba?
Yeah, sometimes kasi when you steam other kinds of milk, it just doesn't go well with coffee. Hindi
Yeah.
naman masama yung lasa, pero hindi lang bagay yung flavor na lumalabas.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm becoming a geek with milk. It's weird. But yeah, that really is why. So if you want to experience this as well with your coffee and with your cookies, go to the Instagram or Facebook page, which is Holly's Milk PH, or the website
hollysmilk.com.
please support local because that's also what we're doing here in Behind Relationship Goals. We'll also provide links in the caption below. If you're watching on Spotify, just jump over to the YouTube page so you can check out the links and try out their products as well. Last thing is the quesong puti because they offer dairy products. Bonizi, I think this is yours.
Yes, they have the quesong puti. They also have yogurt, which we also pair up with our cereal or with fruits that we have at home. But the quesong puti is something that I personally love because what I do is I have a little bruschetta with the quesong puti, tomato, and bread that sometimes I'll have like in the afternoon. Mikael's taking out the yogurt right now. It's low-fat yogurt, and it is so good.
Now we move back to the podcast.
All right, going back to courting. How did you court me?
How did I court Bonizi? I was 23 years old, fresh out of college, so hindi naman naiba yung style ko from what I mentioned a while ago. When I courted Bonizi, the first thing, I think I mentioned this already, definitely kailangan group dates or group meetings.
And we had a lot of group dates. Like I remember we went to Tagaytay and then we said, what are you doing?
We went to Tagaytay. I'll run down shotgun style, okay? We went to Tagaytay. We went out to the bar. We went to parties. We also ate out together. Did we ever go to a movie? No, we didn't.
No, but we would surprisingly be at one event together.
We went to KTV.
Yeah, I remember. That was after Tagaytay.
Yeah. I tried taking her to mini golf.
But it didn't work. It didn't happen.
It didn't work out. So my discarte would revolve around those kinds of activities.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Did you notice na I intentionally and purposefully did not message you for a one-on-one date? Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was always through a friend.
Napansin mo ba yun?
Yeah, I did.
So how did you feel about that?
I thought it was interesting because it wasn't as head-on as I guess intentional as other people would do it. I liked that we were doing different things. I liked that we were going to different places because it was new. It wasn't just like, oh, let's go to the movies or like, let's have dinner and then go home na. It was something exciting. It's something different from what I was used to. So I really like that.
And when it came to me texting, very reserved ako with my communication. And I wouldn't call you very often. Like,
No.
if I called you, sobrang kikiligin na ako. Then parang para sa akin, next step na yun eh. Pag, uy, natatawagin ko na siya.
So would you be a deku when Uraraka called him?
I guess so. I guess so.
No, but it was nice because I knew that Mikael and I wouldn't talk to each other much through text or on the phone. But when we did see each other or when we did meet up, our conversation would just never end. Like it was just continuous conversation with each other.
Ayoko kasi magmukhang atat. Did you ever get that? I mean,
No.
was that a fear? Because that was a fear for me when I'm texting someone I like na kailangan tamang timpla lang yung pagte-text ko, yung tamang haba lang, and then tamang frequency lang. Sometimes you text kita ko agad. I'm like, let's reply in mga 20, 30 minutes muna para hindi mo kang atat.
You know, I actually like that you didn't text me a lot because you made more effort to see me. And that was something that I liked because there was this dude before that would text me and would just be like, kumain ka na, uy, matulog ka na. I'm like, why are you telling me to like do all these things? Just like, let me be.
Oh my God, wait, can we discuss that?
Okay, game.
Can we discuss that? Because there are people like that.
Yeah, he was
And
just like, oh, it's late now. You should go to bed. I'm like, I'm not going to bed yet. He's like, but you might get sick or whatever. I'm just like, leave me alone.
Okay, let's talk about this. So let's try to remove ourselves from our own styles.
Okay.
And look at other styles first. I clearly remember I had friends na ganito na super maalaga style.
I hated
But apparently you...
I stopped texting him after that.
Okay, so let's just expound on this maalaga style. They're the kinds of guys who say, good morning, kumain ka na ba ng breakfast? Or nagpray ka na ba bago matulog?
Yeah.
And yun, I mean, for me, it looks like an excuse to just message. Pero syempre, for the guys, yun yung style talaga nila.
Hindi ko gets yung style na yun. Hindi siya para sa akin.
Okay, but the thing is, I have other friends na babae na...
They like that and they appreciate that. But when it comes to Bonizi, get off of it. Like, I can't deal.
Yeah, so there, it just goes to show you that there are just so many different ways, and minsan talaga kailangan matsyempohan mo na the girl that you likes your style, and hindi siya ma-turn off. Like you didn't particularly like my style, pero hindi ka rin na-turn off.
No, but what do you mean? Which part did I not like about your style?
No, diba? Because I wasn't very straightforward and I wasn't very hand-holdy right away.
I didn't find anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like parang searching for
hindi
how
siya
you
pasok sa pinakagusto mo, pero hindi rin siya turn off.
Yeah.
So, yun yung okay. Mahirap kung maging turn off yun para sa'yo.
Yeah.
So, what other styles are there? This is so interesting. There are others who like calling. So, how do you feel about the callers?
Oh, I like the calling.
Yung imbis na text, hindi siya magte-text, tatawag agad.
Okay lang sa akin. As long as like you're not doing anything, especially like when you're in high school, all you have is just school, home, and friends. Like when you're not doing anything, I don't mind a little telebabad.
Which reminds me, okay, so here's a story of a caller. This couple is a friend of ours actually, and they eventually got together. And a lot of you guys may know of them. I just don't want to blurt out their names.
Okay.
But this guy liked this girl, his future wife, and the first time he interacted with her was he, I think, drunk dialed her at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
What?
It just became a habit. Sobrang natuwa yung girl. I mean, the girl, I asked her, didn't you get weirded out? Yeah, I got weirded out. But at that time, when I received that call, I also found it so funny that he was clearly drunk.
Okay.
And I knew he was drunk calling me, so I kind of went with it. And then what happened there was like parang naging habit sa kanila na early in the morning, tatawagan siya ng guy.
That's so funny.
And then that's how the relationship started. You know who this is?
Ay, di ko alam yun.
Yeah. But anyway, so there. It just goes to show na ang dami talagang diskarte. And minsan talaga pag natsyempohan mo na click kayo, kahit sobrang weird ng diskarte mo or sobrang out of your personality, sometimes it just works. With that said, I think that those guys who are like me, na very conservative, very set in their ways, especially pag ligawan, it's time to get out of your shells and just try it out. I mean, kung mabasted, okay lang. Takot ka ba mabasted, Bones?
Takot ako na the guy would just not like me.
I was super scared na parang, what if ligawan ko yung girl tas di niya ako gusto. Sa totoo lang, nakakatakot yun para sa akin kasi basag yung pride mo nun eh.
I think for me, it was more of, what do they not like about me? Like, is there something wrong with me?
Kasama na rin yun. I also thought about that. So there were just a lot of emotions and a lot of things hinging on ligawan for me when I was younger.
Oh, that was good milk. All right, ikaw ba, Fofo, nabasted ka ba dati? Since you said that you were scared, did it ever reach a point na they said, oh, I don't like you?
I think I was so careful and I was so conservative before na I didn't give it a chance na mabasted ako.
Okay.
Like parang lagi kong tinatansya talaga, uy, gusto ba ako nito? Or gagana kaya yung moves ko sa kanya? And I would really, really take my time and wait to see if the girl kind of liked me before moving in.
Gotcha.
I think I did the same with Bones. Because we went out on group dates and, you know, if you didn't like reciprocate me talking to you, then automatically I would already feel na,
oh, she doesn't like me.
Yeah, so hugas kamay ako agad nun. And I'm like, no, I didn't do anything with her. I don't like her.
When I was younger, I think I was a bit too straightforward with the guys that I didn't want to entertain anymore. And I think I would just be like, please don't text me anymore. I didn't know.
Really?
I didn't know how to
you
say
say
it.
that? No, you say that? Like, please don't text me anymore?
Like.
So what do you say? I'm curious.
So there's this one guy that was courting me, and I didn't know how to tell him. Knowing me now, that I don't know how to express certain feelings. It took me a while. Like we were just sitting together. I said, "Ayoko na." Gumanon ako, but not in that way. I was just like, "Ayoko na." Like, don't court me anymore. I don't feel like it's gonna get anywhere.
I'm so happy I never received a message like that.
It was really harsh. Like
That's so harsh.
I didn't want to sugarcoat anything, definitely. I didn't want it to seem na I was trying to cover up for something because I wanted to be honest with him about my feelings. And I wanted to tell him na I didn't see him in that way. So I didn't want to give an excuse now, oh, it's because of my studies or my parents are strict or they don't like you. I didn't think that that was fair. So at that time, I really thought na I should just be straightforward.
So akala mo mature ka?
No, I was just like, that's just how I felt. Like, I thought that was the right thing to do. It wasn't about being mature or anything.
Brusko lang siya. Brusko lang gumala. Very American, very straightforward.
Yeah, and then I didn't know what
Very
to say.
Lauren also.
I didn't know if like I should give like an explanation because how do you explain to somebody that you don't like them anymore? Like, it just happens.
I see such contrasting styles between you and me. I think I'm very much Pinoy in my style na very conservative, nag-aalangan, being very hesitant, and you're like more direct. I, on a personal level, always equated that to a very foreign personality.
Yeah.
I always thought foreigners were more direct than Filipinos.
And then there was another time also, I felt so bad. Like now that I look back on it, I was really mean in the way that I handled this situation. Well, we were out, like friends, and then the guy was like, I love you. I didn't love him. Because like, we were just hanging out. He never like expressed any romantic intention. Like I thought we were just like going out and just enjoying each other's company. So I was just like, oh, maybe he just wants a friend. So that's how I saw it. I mean, I had a crush on him because he was cute, but that was it. And then he said, I love you. And then at the back of my head, I was like, saan ang galing yun? And then I was like, I don't love you. I'm sorry. I
Was
don't
this
know.
in person?
In person.
You said, I don't love you.
No, in the back of my head.
Okay,
That's what I was
sorry.
saying.
Akala ko
And I
sinabi
was
mo, I
just-
don't love
no,
you.
No.
Tapos sabi niya, I love you.
No.
Brutal.
He said, I love you. And I don't even remember what I said. I don't know if I said thank you or whatever, but it was definitely not reciprocated. And then the guy cried and I felt so bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel for the guy. Do you guys feel for the guy or do you feel for Megan?
I was
'Cause
very confused. I was like, why? What? What's something? What? Like, you never even said that you like me or anything, and now you love me? Like, where did that come from, dude?
Wow.
That's
tough.
bone easy,
That's
yeah.
tough. So let's move on to maybe our final topic before we get to our loaded question. And we have a very short mini game just for kicks to end the podcast. When you ask your crush to be official.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on this? Because I've only done it twice in my life.
Yeah.
The very first time, oh my God, I completely forgot the very first time I asked my first girlfriend.
What? You forgot?
I forgot how I asked her.
What?
So let me talk about like you and me first. Wala na eh, past na yun. It's all about you, Bonnie.
Whoa. Stop it.
Okay, so let me talk about Bones. I'll try to remember. Oh my God. For Bonizi, it was very spontaneous. I mentioned this in a previous podcast already. It was my birthday and we had a good night out. We were in the parking lot and naramdaman
Yeah.
ko lang at that point, like in my head and in my heart, I was like, tanungin ko na to. Feel ko lang ngayon eh.
Tanungin ko to, birthday ko naman.
So that was, yeah.
Birthday mo.
And that was me coming out of my shell kasi at that time, very conservative ako, diba?
And you came from, yung first girlfriend mo, niligawan mo ng matagal. Like, you
Oo.
courted her for like a year?
Months.
Almost a year?
Definitely. Almost a year.
Yeah.
Well, this was me evolving like a
Okay.
Pokemon. My super short, spontaneous speech ako na sinabi. And I said, will you be my girlfriend?
And I was like, yes. Because I really liked you. And we held hands na. So,
Oh, nag-kiss na ba tayo nun?
Nag-kiss na tayo nun. Ikaw
okay,
naman.
okay na. Pwede na.
Nag-kiss
Pwede na.
na.
But okay, let's take a step back and let's analyze that. How did you feel about that style? And prior to that, like as a person, as an individual na single, how would you have felt if ganun yung ginawa ng lalaki sa'yo? Kasi there are so many different ways of imagining popping that question na maging
Yeah.
official diba?
Yeah.
Ako usually bongga yung naiisip ko
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that?
okay, I think at this point of my
Life.
early adulthood life, I already knew that I didn't like grand gestures. I knew that I didn't like the big flowers. I had already told you that I didn't like flowers being given.
To be honest with you, I don't remember you ever saying that you didn't
Oh?
like big flowers. I mean, parang totoo nga, nasabi mo nga, but I don't have a memory in my head.
But you never gave me flowers after that.
I didn't.
No.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. Go
Anyways, so when you talked to me and you asked me, can you be my girlfriend? I loved it because you were honest and you were upfront about how you felt. You didn't let it go on for so long or like try to do all these feelers kind of things like, oh, I think I'm gonna feel it out first. You felt like you wanted to be in a relationship with me and you asked me rather than waiting and waiting and waiting for like a sign or a signal. You were honest about your feelings and I love that about you. And I was honestly waiting to see, is he going to ask me to be his girlfriend? Because at the back of my head, I wanted to be your girlfriend and I wanted you to be my boyfriend.
Oh, back then already?
Yeah. Like you were the only person that I was dating. I didn't want to date anyone else. And I wanted to, have a relationship with you.
Okay, so here's a challenge for you. Take that out of your mind, that memory. Back then, when you were younger, how did you daydream about being asked? Would you ever daydream or how would you imagine it?
I think when I was much younger, I would go back to like the very movie romantic kind of style because I thought that that's how people would normally ask you. They would do like all these like signs or like have these like flowers. That's how I envisioned it to be. But I didn't think that it could be as simple and straightforward and the feeling would be just as big and as nice.
Okay, so surprising yung ginawa ko.
Yeah, surprising.
Simple but surprising.
Yeah,
Hey.
I really liked it. I appreciated it.
Let's
a
learn
lot.
from that. I learned from it.
Yeah, it was more like centered on our emotional connection to each other. And I think that's what's most important in a relationship rather than having big things that you only see one time. And then what are you going to do with like, you're going to have to throw it and dispose of it. You just add to the trash. So for me, it's more about the connection between a couple. And that's what matters the most to me.
Okay, I remember now what I think I did during my first girlfriend.
Okay.
I think I had like several gifts. Very similar to a scavenger hunt that I did for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, inulit ko yung style na yun. Nangyayari po yun. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in the next
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I think I set up a scavenger hunt for her and I had like little notes maybe which had connections to memories that we've had, like fun times that we've had. And then like the final gift was, I guess, eventually me and me asking, hey, will you be my girlfriend?
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
So, very ma-effort yung sa akin. Effort talaga, super effort. Yun yung style ko, very ma-effort na parang handcrafted stuff. I had big boxes, I had origami stuff.
The one that you dated, hindi naging kayo, but you dated for a long time.
Oh yeah, I also gave her a lot of handcrafted stuff.
Yeah, you made like a big strawberry or
Yun
something.
yung style ko. Pero the thing is, there are also a lot of different styles. Like other people, they really save up para super bongga. I mean, it's very expensive. Pero they'll take them out to a super nice resto. Tas baka nakasuit pa. Hey, dress up nicely. Tapos at the end of the night, maybe they'll take them out to a nice spot in that resto. Baka may balcony overlooking. Tapos sasabihin, hey, will you be my girlfriend? How do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
I think it's nice, but it really, to each his own. Like there are some people that really like romantic moments, that really appreciate the effort that's put into these things. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. For me, it can be super simple. You can just ask me. For me, it's more about the connection that you have with this person rather than the big gestures.
I think that nicely closes the Courtship podcast. This is the Courtship
Are we
podcast, the
gonna do-
LIGAWAN 101 podcast.
LIGAWAN 101 Part 1.
We ended with being official.
Yes.
Kasi I guess that's where the LIGAWAN
Yeah.
kind of ends at a certain point, right?
I think next on we can probably do kinds of ligawan.
Kinds of LIGAWAN, there's so many different
Concepts of
things.
ligawan.
I actually wanted to talk about the playbook that guys have, yung serial daters and serial ligawers.
Ligawers, serial courters.
We'll get to that in the next episode. Right now, we're gonna get to
Our loaded question of the week. Ten, 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 ten. Modern times na daw ngayon, but sa culture ng mga Pinoy, is it okay or acceptable if the girl makes the first move?
I think it's changed just a little bit because it's a lot easier to communicate. Because there's so many modes of communication on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And sometimes when someone parang retweets a tweet lang or likes a photo, that's a form of first move.
Parang it's a form of flirting, would you say?
Yeah, or parang nagpaparamdam.
Showing interest.
So I've seen this. I've seen this with my brothers and my cousins, even my older brother. I've seen him do it. Like parang just liking a tweet from someone or liking an Instagram post. It's like his way.
Showing
parang
interest in the
saying,
person.
"Hey." But at the same time, girls can do that also. And sometimes girls do it unknowingly.
Yeah.
Kasi they're just doing it because they want to, not because they like a guy. Pero yun pala, the guy thinks na, uy, crush ako nito. Ako yung crush nito.
Hindi may style ang mga girls. I know some friends, what they do
go. Share,
is...
share.
Wait, before we go to that, I think it's okay if a girl makes the first move.
Okay.
And going back to, the concept of liking and like showing interest through social media, I have a friend that what they do is they'll like photos on the guy's page or like their Instagram, make a comment, and then they'll go to their page and post a super sexy photo so that when the guy goes to their page, that's the first photo that they see. So I know friends that do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's super cute and super fun. But, that's kind of like the social media way of showing interest in somebody or flirting with somebody.
That gives me an idea for another podcast, Bones.
Oh, really?
New Age LIGAWAN. New Age styles. We should like critique different styles and see if it would have worked if we did it to one another.
Yeah, but you know what? Going back, I don't see anything wrong with women making the first move. If you like somebody and you want to show interest, I don't see why men have to be the only ones, going for people that they like. What if all the guys that go for you don't like them? Like, what if you like somebody else? So why not show interest in them also?
And there are a lot of smoother ways of showing interest now. So for me, just to answer this quickly, I agree with you, Bones. I think it is definitely okay for girls to make the first move or at least allow themselves to show interest to guys whom they
Yeah.
like. I think yung naging parang roadblock here, at least from my experience, would be parents who are more traditional, who didn't grow
Yeah.
up with social media, where now it's just so easy to communicate talaga eh.
Yeah,
So-
and parang like people will always have something to say, and it's up to you if you let that affect you. I know that some people will be like, oh, why are you the one going for this guy? He should be the one going to you. It depends on your dynamic also. You as a person, the person that you're trying to like court, quote unquote. Don't let what people say get to you, honestly.
I think that wraps up our loaded question of the week. And we have a super short game, which was based off, I guess, the topic at hand for this episode. We're going to have some quick fire questions for you. I'm going to make...
Me lang?
For you. I'm
Okay.
going to mention two things and you just tell me which one you would prefer.
Okay, game.
You ready, Bones?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Romantic dinner or romantic getaway?
Romantic getaway.
Ooh. Personalized jewelry or handmade gift?
Handmade gift.
When celebrating special occasions, is it just the two of us or do you want with family and friends?
With family and friends.
Oh, hey, cool. Okay, fine. I'm not going to react. Do you want a surprise vacation or a planned vacation together?
Surprise vacation.
No to roses and chocolates at all or pwede during special occasions?
No at all.
Completely.
Completely.
Okay, and there you go. You can ask your friends and your partners. For the guys there, what would you prefer to give? And for the girls out there, what would you guys prefer to receive? And you can compare that to Bonizi's answers.
Yeah, and you can also answer the loaded question of the week in the comment section.
And before we get to the end of this podcast, we would like to remind everybody that this is a sponsored episode. What?
Yeah, thank you so much to Holly's for sponsoring our podcast for today. If you guys want to order from them, you can order from their website. That's hollysmilk.com or message them on their Facebook or Instagram at hollysmilkph.
And I'd just like to reiterate, guys, that this podcast, for me and Bones, it was born several years ago, but it really grew during this...
Several years ago.
2 years ago.
Okay.
It really grew during this quarantine.
Yeah.
So this crazy situation that the whole world is going through. When we look for partnerships and sponsorships, we really look at it, as I mentioned a while ago, to create and foster an atmosphere of tulungan. Because we also have a team behind this podcast and we're supporting them. And at the same time, we're supporting brands whom we believe in and whom we know can also benefit from the partnership that we have at the moment. So trying out their products, just even going to their Facebook and social media pages to check them out, trying out their products is even better. We would like to ask everyone to at least try to do that.
Yeah, because you're also helping out the teams behind these brands and these products.
We know that this is a difficult business climate for everyone. So I think a little bit of help goes a long way. And we already love all the support that the viewers have been giving to this podcast. And yeah, we're just sharing this with you guys as well.
Sharing the love with our viewers.
So with that, I think we have reached the end. I'm Fofo.
And I'm Bones.
Bye, guys.
Bye.